you might very well be a food drone. What do I mean by that? Well, a food drone is eating on autopilot, spending without thinking. There's no shame in being a food drone. It's what the food industry wants us to be. I was one until not that long ago. But the thing is, you don't have to be. You can break out of the matrix. And today on Grocery Dad, I'm going to share 5 signs that you might be a food drone, as well as give you the 3 essentials that help set me free. And I can tell you right now, they saved us a small fortune and they could do the same for you. So stick around. Turn the clock back just a few years and I thought I had everything under control. What I was eating, how I was spending on food, and how my body looked and felt. But one day I was checking our bank balance, just a routine kind of a look back through the previous couple of months to see what we'd been spending on. And that's when it hit me. I was hemorrhaging on things like takeaway and snacks and those little top-up grocery trips. And it was hitting our wallet hard, but I didn't even realise what was happening. My wife and I had become food drones, just spending and eating, eating and spending, without thinking about what we were doing or considering the consequences for our finances or for our health. So if you're thinking, that sounds a bit familiar, but how do I know if that's really me? If I am actually a food drone, there are 5 signs or symptoms that we noticed in our behaviour, and I've seen them talking to other people. If you recognise probably 3 or more of these in the way you're doing food right now, there's a strong chance you've slipped into this kind of food-centred matrix. I'll cover them off real quick now, and then if you want to take the red pill, keep watching, because I'll tell you those 3 things you'll need to do to set yourself free in just a few minutes. Now, the first sign that you might be a food drone and you might have a problem is simply that you're under 30 or you live alone. Obviously, neither of those is a problem in itself, and not every single person under 30 is a food drone. But when you're younger or pre-family, you don't always have a lot of good food habits locked in. You can check out this video if you're looking for some good food habits you can try out. For me, when I was in my 20s, it was like, why bother with planning meals? I'll just go out and grab whatever I feel like when I feel like it. Or worse still, I'll have someone else cook it for me. Now, as you get a bit older, or once you have a family, that mindset often starts to change. Now, the second sign you might be a food drone is that you have little to no food essentials in your house. I lost count of how many times I opened a fridge or a cupboard and just went, there is nothing here for me to eat. I didn't have the basics like some sort of protein, onions, garlic, a few herbs that I could make a quick and easy meal with. When you don't have the essentials, you're never far from taking shortcuts like ordering takeout. And those shortcuts generally aren't very good for you, and that's another big sign you could be a food drone. So, sign number 3 is a function of not having the essentials on hand, and it's that you rarely know what you're going to be eating beyond the next day or 2. That was another big one for us. Every evening felt like it was this last-minute scramble. What's for dinner? Too tired to cook, can't be bothered doing groceries, let's buy something on the way home from work. And it's almost always going to be expensive, unhealthy crap that you're choosing. You're not doing any kind of meal planning, even if it's just batch cook something at the weekend that you can freeze and pull out in the middle of the week when work's full on and the kids have swim practice. Okay, quick moment to say thank you for watching Grocery Dad. If you're enjoying it, the best thing you can do is to subscribe. That's really crucial for a small channel like mine, and get involved too. I've had loads of fantastic comments so far. If you think you're a food drone, what is the biggest challenge you're trying to overcome to get free? Stick it in the comments and stick around, because the 3 essential steps to unplug from food dronedom are coming up very soon. Okay, on to the 4th sign, you're a food drone. You obsess over brands that you have always bought. This is a big food drone moment when you realise this is what you're doing. I had a comment recently from someone saying, how do you recreate the flavour of Bachelor's something or other? I'm going to come back to why you more than likely don't want to recreate that flavour a bit later. But for now, just know that big brands love it when you say that. Regardless of what's in it or whether it's good for you or good value, they're banking on us just sticking to what we know, even when a better option exists out there somewhere. And finally, the 5th sign you might be a food drone. You're going to the same store over and over and shopping on autopilot when you get there. Now, there's a few different ways this could play out. They might have reeled you in with some sort of loyalty program, or you might be going up and down the aisles picking out everything that looks like it's on special, everything that's on a deal. Basically, the store is calling the shots, not you. And if that sounds like you, again, you are very likely a drone. So, 3 or more of those signs hitting home, and you might have a problem that is worth fixing. But what do you do? How do you get out of the matrix? Well, the first step is basically just recognizing you have a problem. And I mean actually sitting with it for a bit. Take a week to track what you're buying and what you're spending and what you're eating, like we did. And that is the best way, if it's happening, to get that wake up call. Because until I saw the numbers for myself and then was like, okay, we carry on like this, we're not getting anywhere nearer to a house deposit or a family holiday. And we have to make a change from today and never go back to those old food habits. Step 2 then, once you've come to that realization, is to get mindful. Get mindful about what you are putting into your body and how much it's costing you. Those convenience foods that you're living off, the ones we were having every other night of the week, they're designed to appeal to you. Just like, the bachelor's cheese sauce thing from the comment earlier, but rarely are they doing you any favors. Think about some of the most common ingredients they put into ultra prepared, ultra processed food. Things like high fructose corn syrup, linked to weight gain and metabolic issues. Trans fats, terrible for your heart. Artificial sweeteners and diet products disrupt how your gut works. Sodium nitrite could increase your cancer risk. MSG linked to overeating because it stops you feeling full. On and on the list goes. But when you start paying attention to what's in your food, reading food labels, finding out what some of this stuff is and does, you're naturally going to start to make better choices. And of course, if that wasn't enough, the kicker is on a dollars per portion basis, convenience foods aren't very cost effective at all compared to a homemade version made from all natural ingredients. Now, the third and final step to help you stop being a food drone that I want to share today is shop with purpose. Start by writing a list based on what you actually want and need for the week. Go into the store with a plan in mind and focus on the perimeter of the store as much as possible, because that's where the real food lives. Bunch of other tactics that they're using to try to keep you on autopilot, but I've put 15 of them into this video so you can be forewarned. When you shop intentionally, you're the one in control, not the store, not the brands, not the flashy deals, and that's when the rubber hits the road. When you're in the store, face to face with dozens and dozens of choices, loads of brightly coloured packs, if you know you've been on autopilot, if you're being conscientious about ingredients, and if you're going in the store with a plan, you're going to be in a totally different place in 8 weeks from now. Your bank balance will prove it, and there's a very good chance the way you feel will prove it too. Okay, so there's a lot of food drones out there, folks. Nothing to be ashamed of, but it's probably time that you made that change. For me, it wasn't about making massive changes overnight. It was about small, consistent steps. It was about tracking habits, getting mindful with the food that we were eating and what we were spending on, and shopping with purpose. Very quickly, you'll notice you're saving money, you're eating better, and honestly, you're just going to feel more in control of your life. Now, if this resonated with you, let me know in the comments, give us a like, and if you value it, hit subscribe so you can join the 292 other wonderful people getting tips every week on eating better and saving money on their food. See you in the next video.